My name is Ethan. I'm 32 and I've spent most of my adult life staying out of the spotlight even when the spotlight had my name on it. You know those people who seem to attract attention without even trying? That's my sister, Naomi. Older by 4 years and always the voice of the family. Naomi didn't earn attention. She absorbed it like sunlight on concrete. And me? I was the shadow cast by her glow. The quiet one. The helper. The fixer. The guy who stayed up till 3 a.m. writing the final pitch deck so her project wouldn't tank the next morning. I never complained. I told myself that's just how families work. You help out, you do your part. Until last December. It started with an unexpected dinner invite. Naomi texted me out of nowhere just a week before Christmas. Hey little bro. Big night coming up. Family dinner this Friday. Everyone's coming. Can you make it? No apology for ghosting me the last 6 months. No acknowledgement of the argument we had over her taking credit again for one of my AI models during a tech panel. Just this casual, breezy tone like everything was normal. I stared at the message for a while. Not sure if I wanted to laugh or throw my phone. I hadn't been home in almost a year. And when I say home, I mean the place where my parents only call when something breaks, never just to say hello. But something inside me said, go. Maybe it's because part of me still hoped. Hoped they'd finally see me. Or at least stop pretending Naomi walked on water while I waded through their silence. Friday came. I showed up 15 minutes early like I always used to. The same uneven sidewalk. The same front porch light that flickered twice before coming on. I paused, hand on the doorknob, wondering if I should have stayed in the car. Too late. Naomi opened the door like she'd been waiting. Ethan, you look amazing. Oh my God. She hugged me too tight and too long. Like she thought overdoing it would erase the last 12 months. Inside, the house was buzzing. Mom was in the kitchen, Dad was fiddling with the thermostat like always, and a couple cousins I hadn't seen in years were already halfway through their second drink. Naomi had changed a lot. New hair color. Sleek black dress. But the performance was exactly the same. You guys, this is Ethan, my brilliant baby brother. He's doing crazy stuff in AI right now. Like seriously, groundbreaking? I gave a polite nod. Then I heard her say it. He helped me a little with that predictive model I presented last year. You know, the one that landed me the keynote at the Future Tech conference. No mention that I wrote the entire thing. No mention that I declined the speaking gig myself and handed it to her when she cried about feeling invisible. She claimed I helped a little, and I was standing right there. My mom laughed and said, well, you two make a great team. One builds, the other shines. I looked around the room. No one saw the twist in my jaw. No one noticed the silence swallowing my chest like slow smoke. Just when I thought the evening couldn't get worse, Naomi clinked her glass like it was her wedding. Okay, everyone, I have a surprise announcement. The room quieted. Phones came out. Naomi flashed that practice smile and held up a small envelope. I've been invited to speak on national television next month. Live. ABC is doing a spotlight on women in tech, and guess what? They're calling me a pioneer in machine learning. Applause erupted. My mom clapped like she just won a game show. My dad even stood up and raised his glass. We knew you had it in you, sweetie. We always knew. I didn't clap. I couldn't. The model she built her pitch on? That was mine. The software she demoed? I wrote it. The training data? Came from my research lab under my name. She was going on national television to accept an award meant for me, and they were all too blinded to care. I quietly placed my fork down and excused myself to the bathroom. I wasn't angry. I was done. That night, I drove home in silence. I didn't blast music like I usually do. No podcasts, no calls. Just the hum of tires and the kind of stillness that makes you realize exactly what you've been ignoring for too long. I got in, dropped my keys in the bowl, and sat on the edge of my bed. My laptop was still open from that morning screensaver bouncing around with lines of code behind it. The folder was still open. My models. My reports. The exact ones Naomi had submitted to get the ABC spotlight. I knew because she had sent me a panicked message 2 months ago. Ethan, can you polish up your predictive engine again? I need it for something important. Just for presentation, you'll still be credited, don't worry. I had ignored the red flag. She said presentation, not national interview. And she said you'll still be credited. She never mentioned she was submitting it as her own. But now it was clear. I opened my inbox and started searching. Took just one keyword, submission, and there it was. A forwarded message chain. She hadn't even bothered to delete the thread. The submission read, "Attached is my proprietary ML model developed in-house with original architecture and training pipeline designed by myself." And below it, the file was literally named Ethan_v3_final. She didn't even bother renaming it. I sat there staring at that line. It didn't burn. It didn't cut. It just hollowed me out completely. There's something worse than betrayal, it's indifference. She wasn't trying to hurt me. She just didn't think I mattered. For 3 weeks, I didn't say anything. Not to Naomi. Not to my parents. Not to anyone. I kept doing my job, managing my team, and meeting deadlines. I worked in silence while she posted countdowns on Instagram and LinkedIn. 1 week till ABC. Can't wait to represent women in tech. There were pictures of her fake prepping in coffee shops using buzzwords she didn't even understand. One post read, "So proud to demo the ML engine I built from scratch. Tune in next Thursday." I wanted to say something. I wanted to blow it up. But something told me to wait. That same night, while checking my email, I got a Google Calendar invite. ABC Tech Feature Live Q&A Prep. At first, I thought it was spam. Then I saw the sender. Hudson, ABC Associate Producer. The invite wasn't for me, but it was my email. Naomi had used my business address to sign up for the pre-show tech checks. Probably because she didn't have her own demo environment. Probably because she couldn't build one. I clicked accept. The meeting was 3 days away, and I planned to show up. The prep meeting was set for a Monday, 10 a.m. sharp. I logged in 5 minutes early. The waiting room had a white background with spinning blue dots. Then click, the video feed opened. Naomi was already there. Full makeup. Brushed hair. Behind her, a perfectly clean home office that I was 99% sure was a fake background. She froze the moment she saw my name appear. Ethan? Her smile dropped so fast you'd think gravity worked harder on guilt. "Hey Naomi," I said, calm as ever. Before she could say anything, another screen popped in. Hudson. Late 30s, glasses, very polite energy. "Hi there. Thanks for joining us, Ethan and Naomi. We'll be doing a quick check of the software you'll be demoing live on air." Naomi jumped in fast. "Oh, we don't need Ethan here. He's just a technical assistant. I can handle it." She laughed nervously. Hudson raised an eyebrow. "We were told this engine was your development, Ethan. Is that correct?" Naomi's mouth opened, then closed, then opened again. But I answered before she could. "Yes. I'm the lead developer and co-creator of the architecture." Naomi requested to showcase it. I wasn't aware it would be presented as her own invention. Silence. Hudson blinked slowly, then said, "Right? I think we should pause here and follow up offline." The screen froze. Then everyone disappeared, and I shut my laptop. For the first time in years, I smiled without faking it. The next 48 hours were quiet. No calls. No texts. No emails. But that kind of silence isn't peaceful. It's the silence that comes right before something breaks. On Wednesday night, my mom called me. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was short. "Naomi's upset. She said you sabotaged her TV thing. Can you just call me?" I didn't. Instead, I watched Naomi's Instagram story. It was gone. Not just the story, the whole account. Gone. Deleted. I clicked over to LinkedIn. Her posts were still there, but the comments were locked. 2 hours later, I got a message from Hudson. Just 4 words. "Thank you for clarifying." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. The truth was moving on its own now. Thursday arrived. The day of the big interview. I woke up early, brewed coffee, and opened ABC's live stream out of pure curiosity. There was no Naomi. The anchor did the intro as planned. Next up, we explore the rising impact of machine learning with one of the minds behind a revolutionary new prediction model. Then the segment cut. Not to Naomi, but to B-roll footage. Narrated. No guest. No panel. Just a quiet voiceover saying, due to scheduling conflicts, our guest was unable to attend live. However, the innovation remains an exciting look into the future. No face. No name. And in the corner of the screen, under Developer Attribution, it said, Pacific Neural Systems Lead, Ethan Callaway. It only stayed for 6 seconds. But it was enough. That night, I got a call from Dad. For the first time in months. I answered. I shouldn't have. What the hell did you do to your sister? No hello. No preamble. I sighed. Dad, she lied. To you. To ABC. To everyone. He scoffed. She's been crying for 2 days. You know how sensitive she is. Sensitive, I said calmly. She committed fraud, Dad, and she dragged our family name into it. I didn't sabotage her. I stopped her from crashing on live TV. Silence. Then he mumbled something about how family should stick together. I ended the call. No yelling. No pleading. Just a quiet click. The next day, Mom messaged me. I raised 2 kids. Not enemies. I didn't respond, because for the first time in my life, I wasn't the one breaking things. I was just refusing to hold up the pieces anymore. 2 weeks passed. Then came the letter. Not an email. A physical letter. Folded and taped awkwardly. Sent from my parents' address. It was from Naomi. Handwritten. She started off pretending everything was fine. Then asked if I could help her fix her reputation and maybe talk to Hudson at ABC about giving her another chance. She even underlined the word please. The second half of the letter was worse. She reminded me how she always supported my weird little projects, how she defended me when nobody understood my work, and how we're still siblings at the end of the day. I read it all. Every word. Then I gently folded it back and placed it in my drawer. Not as a keepsake, but as evidence. The truth is, Naomi didn't write to reconnect. She wrote because she thought I still had something left to give her. And this time I didn't. Monday morning, my phone buzzed before 7 a.m. It was a Slack message from Lauren, one of my junior engineers. Hey, I think your sister applied to work here. Attached was a forwarded application. Naomi. Same last name. Same resume style. But now suddenly claiming she wanted to pivot into back-end infrastructure with a passion for machine learning. I stared at it for a while. I wasn't angry. Just confused. She knew I was here. Knew I'd see it. Did she think I'd greenlight it? That I'd give her another platform? Lauren added, we haven't responded. Wanted to check with you first. I replied simply, no action needed. Just file and archive. No explanations. No drama. If Naomi wanted access, she'd need to walk through the front door, not sneak around hoping the world forgot. Christmas came early that year. At least it did for everyone else. I stayed home. Didn't fly in. Didn't Zoom. Didn't even text Merry Christmas. My parents hosted their usual dinner. I saw a few photos posted online by one of my cousins. Same old faces, same decorations. Naomi in a red dress, trying to smile like nothing had happened. I wasn't mentioned. Not once. Nobody reached out. Not to invite. Not to guilt trip. Just complete silence. It was strange at first. But then it felt right. For the first time, I realized something. I hadn't lost a family. I had just stopped pretending I ever truly belonged in one. A few days later, I got a call I didn't expect. Aunt Val. My dad's older sister. Quiet woman. Doesn't talk much. But always noticed more than she let on. I picked up. Hey, Ethan. I know this is random, but I just wanted to say I'm proud of you. That's all she said at first. I didn't know how to respond. No one in the family had said that to me in years. She kept going. Your dad's embarrassed. Your mom's confused. Naomi's playing victim. But I've been watching. I know what happened. She paused. I just wanted you to hear that from someone who isn't asking you for anything. I swallowed hard. Nodded even though she couldn't see me. Thanks, Aunt Val. That means more than you know. She hung up shortly after. Didn't ask for money. Didn't try to bring the family back together. She just said what nobody else had the guts to say. And left it there. Early January, I got an email from a journalist. Tech Review Weekly. Subject: interested in doing a feature on your AI Model Plus industry journey. They weren't reaching out to Naomi. They wanted me. Turns out Hudson had quietly recommended me. I agreed to do it, but under one condition. I'll talk about my work, but I won't use this platform to throw family under the bus. This story's about code, not drama. They respected that. We set up a date. When the article went live, the headline read, Behind the Code, How Quiet Engineers Are Shaping the Future. The first paragraph? Ethan Callaway doesn't care about fame. But if you've used AI in the last 12 months, you've probably touched his work. There was no mention of Naomi. No passive-aggressive jabs. Just truth. Real recognition. Real merit. On my own terms. It was a Sunday. Cold, windy, and the kind of gray that sticks to your bones. I was halfway through organizing some files when I heard a knock. 3 taps. Light. Hesitant. I knew before I opened the door. Naomi stood there. No makeup. No coat. Just her, clutching a phone in one hand and something that looked like a binder in the other. "Can we talk?" she asked. I didn't step aside. I didn't shut the door either. I just waited. "I messed up," she said quickly, like she wanted to control the narrative before I could say a word. But I didn't think it would all fall apart like that. I looked at her. Same tone, same soft voice. But it didn't work anymore. I wasn't the same person who used to write her reports in the background while she soaked in the applause. "What do you want, Naomi?" I asked. No emotion. No welcome. Just the truth. She hesitated, then held up the binder. "I need help. I've been applying to jobs. They're all rejecting me. Some won't even respond. You're still respected. Maybe you could write something for me. A referral. Just a short paragraph." My throat tightened. Not because I was surprised, but because I had hoped, stupidly, that this wasn't the only reason she showed up. I stepped aside. "Come in. But only if you're ready to hear something you won't like." We sat across from each other in the living room. The same coffee table where I used to lay out her presentations. The same chair where she used to joke about being the face while I did the nerd stuff. She placed the binder down gently. "You don't have to lie," she said. "Just something to get my foot in the door again." I didn't answer. Not right away. I leaned forward, rested my elbows on my knees, and looked her in the eyes. "You stole my work. Lied about it. Used me until there was nothing left to take. And now that it's all crashing, you want me to put my name behind you again." Her mouth opened, then closed. She looked down at her hands. I kept going. "Naomi, I don't hate you. I don't even want revenge. I just finally understand that love without boundaries isn't love. It's servitude." She blinked. Looked like she might cry. But I didn't soften. I couldn't. "You asked for a referral. Here's what I'll do. I'll write one honest sentence. Naomi is a charismatic speaker who should not be trusted with independent project ownership. You want that?" She shook her head quickly. "That's not fair." "Neither was what you did," I replied. She didn't respond. She just stood up, slowly, picked up the binder, and walked toward the door. At the threshold, she paused. "You're not who I remember," she said. "That makes 2 of us," I replied. She left, and I closed the door. A week later, my phone buzzed again. It was my mother. She hadn't called in over a month. This time, she left a voicemail. Her voice was tired, older somehow. "Ethan, I know we haven't handled things right. I know you feel like we always chose Naomi. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't see things clearly. But families aren't perfect. If you can forgive us, come home for dinner. Just once. No expectations." I listened to it twice. Then a third time. The voice that once used to guilt me now just sounded fragile. But I didn't reply. Not out of anger. Not out of coldness. But because I no longer felt the need to be the one who always bent first. I had learned something valuable in the past few months. Silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's the loudest thing you can say. In March, I was invited to speak at a major AI summit in Chicago. It was the kind of offer Naomi used to dream about. I flew in, rehearsed my segment, and took the stage in front of 3,000 people. The lights were hot. The applause was loud. But I wasn't thinking about recognition. I was thinking about choice. For the first time, I wasn't in the background. I wasn't the ghostwriter. I was the name on the banner. And when I wrapped up my talk, I paused before leaving the stage. "Innovation isn't about being loud," I said. "It's about being honest. And sometimes the most disruptive thing you can do in this world is simply tell the truth." The room clapped again. But I wasn't focused on them. I was focused on the quiet peace building inside me. A peace I hadn't felt in years. Not pride. Not victory. Just clarity. I walked off stage knowing the past couldn't own me anymore. Not my sister's shadow, not my parents' silence. Nothing. And for once, that was enough. 2 months after the conference, I got an email from a name I hadn't seen since college. Jessica Tran. We were in the same program at Stanford. She was now the director of product at one of the fastest-growing AI firms on the East Coast. Subject line, "Still remember you." I opened it slowly. "Ethan, I saw your keynote. I knew the minute you said the words quiet engineers shape the future that it had to be you. I'm building a new team. Would love to talk if you're open. For a second, I didn't move. I just sat back and stared at the screen. This wasn't someone asking for a favor. This wasn't family trying to claw back grace with guilt. This was someone who saw me and wanted me. Not a pitch deck. Not a borrowed name. Not a referral. Just me. I responded the next morning. I didn't even ask about salary. I didn't care. I just said, would love to catch up. I'm free Thursday. A week before I was scheduled to fly out to meet Jessica's team, I got a text from Naomi. It was a photo. Her standing outside my old apartment from 5 years ago, holding 2 coffees. Caption, remember when we used to grab breakfast after all-nighters? Missed that. I stared at it for 10 minutes. I didn't respond. 20 minutes later, another message came. I'm really trying, Ethan. Can you meet me halfway? This time, she added a voice memo. I know you don't trust me. I know I screwed up. But I'm your sister. That has to count for something. Please don't shut me out forever. I played it once, then deleted it. I didn't respond. Not because I wanted her to suffer, but because I'd finally learned something she never did. Saying sorry doesn't mean anything if you're still the same person who caused the damage. My parents' lawyer reached out 3 months later. Unexpected. Polite tone. Formal subject line. Estate discussion. I hadn't spoken to my parents since the voicemail from Mom. The lawyer explained they were drafting a new will. They wanted to split everything evenly between Naomi and me. Property, assets, even the lake house I hadn't visited in over a decade. I told him one sentence, I don't want anything that comes with conditions. He asked what that meant. I explained. If I take the house, the money, the land, what comes with it? More requests? More guilt? More late-night calls asking for help fixing problems they made. He was quiet for a bit. Then he said, understood. I wasn't angry. I wasn't bitter. But I had finally stopped accepting things that came wrapped in expectation and disguised as generosity. I had my own life now. My own peace. That was the only inheritance I needed. It's been almost a year since the ABC interview that never aired. Since I stopped being someone else's engine and started being my own story. I haven't spoken to Naomi since that last message. I haven't gone back to my parents' house. I haven't chased an apology that was never meant to arrive. But I have found something else. A rhythm, purpose, a space where I can build without begging to be seen. Jessica Tran's team turned out to be everything I needed. Smart people, clean work, no egos. I walk into the office now and nobody asks me to prove myself. They just let me be. And that's what family should feel like. Not an obligation, not a performance, but a place where you are valued for who you are, not what you offer. I still think about Naomi sometimes. I wonder if she ever truly understood what she lost. Not just a referral, not a pipeline, but a brother. The kind that carried her for years without ever asking for credit. And I think about my parents. How love without effort turns into expectation. And how expectation, when left unchecked, becomes entitlement. If you're listening to this and you've ever felt like the invisible one, the one doing all the work while someone else collects the praise, let me say this. You're not invisible. You're just surrounded by people who refuse to see clearly. Find new eyes. And if you've been waiting for them to apologize before you start living, stop waiting. Sometimes freedom isn't found in confrontation. It's found in quiet, in walking away, and staying gone. Take care of yourself. Choose peace. And if this story sounded anything like yours, maybe it's time to stop carrying what they never appreciated in the first place. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one. It's been almost a year. No more calls. No more late-night apologies. Just silence, and I've learned to love it. I used to think walking away meant giving up, but now I see it for what it really is, choosing myself. For the first time in my life, I'm not someone's backup plan. I'm not a silent partner. I'm just me building, living, and finally breathing. If this story felt familiar to you, maybe it's your turn to stop waiting for an apology that'll never come. Maybe it's time to be done. Not out of hate, but because you deserve peace too. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.